You're confident this border's secure?
We have a secure border.
Raise your hand if you think it should be a civil offense rather than a crime to cross a border without documentation. Can we keep the hands up so we could see them?
I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct.
So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being public education or public health. ICE is administering its power in a way that is causing fear. Are you aware that there's a perception?
I see no.
Are you aware that there's a perception
that puts ICE in the same category as the KKK? Is that what you're asking me?
Listen, I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing, and we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
Frankly, a dereliction of duty when you are an elected leader to play those kinds of games with human life and human beings.
Shout out to the Western Lensman. Now, we got to talk about Uncle Trump and this border crisis, which is why you saw that opening clip there, you know, back when they used to deny it. But anyway, it's somehow Trump's fault that the border is open, but Trump used executive orders to close the border so they could do the exact same thing. Uncle Trump took a visit to the border recently, and there was some weird stuff going on, including this. I want to show y'all this clip before we get into it. But fair warning, when we get into the next, well, no, I'm going to wait to tell you that part, but let's get into this.
Hey, there was a manhunt going on in this county. Somebody made death threats to you. Did you hear about that before coming? And what are your thoughts coming down here? Some people told me it's dangerous for you to be here.
I've heard it's dangerous, but I also have a job to do. I heard it's very dangerous. I haven't heard about that. They probably want to keep it from me. Thank you for telling me. Let's get out of here right now. No, thank you very much for saying it. But no, and I have great respect for Secret Service, the job they do, including a month and a half ago when they were jumping on top of me with bullets flying right at them. So mistakes were made, and they're going to learn from the mistakes. But I have great respect. But no, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, so you heard it there. There was a manhunt for a guy yesterday while Trump was at the border. And before somebody says, well, why is he praising the Secret Service? They put him at risk. I mean, think about this logically, because I know there's going to be somebody that's going to say that. Why would you go after the very people that are tasked with protecting you when so many people want you gone? It's just not a smart business decision to go after the very people that are supposed to be protecting you when you know there's some people that want you gone. Like, that's just not smart. Whether or not you think that the Secret Service was in on it or, you know, was doing their job terribly, it's just not smart to go after them. So I think Trump was smart in saying, hey, I respect these guys. That's just a smart decision in my humble opinion. But yeah, a guy by the name of Ronald was arrested in connection with an alleged assassination plot planned for president's visit to a vulnerable stretch of the southern border. And I don't know how to pronounce that, in Arizona, which is where he was. So yeah, this guy apparently was gonna try to do him in while he was visiting the border. Crazy. And I hope Trump's team is on their P's and Q's, because I guarantee you he's not the only person that's going to try that, unfortunately. And it's sad that we live in that time where people are attempting to do this kind of crazy stuff. But I also want to show you guys this clip of this lady. And I think it's important to show you this because it speaks to the urgency to secure this border and stop playing these games that Democrats are actually playing. So fair warning, grab some tissues, because I know when I was first watching this, somebody was cutting some onions. I'll say that. Okay, I don't know who was cooking, but somebody was cutting some onions. You know, eyes got a little watery, you know, so you've been warned. But I think it's important. Check it out.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Absolutely. want to have. We don't want it to happen to other people. That's all.
No.
Big thanks.
Yeah. Hi. I was just thanking President Trump for the invitation to come and to share Rachel's story. Rachel was 37 years old. She had 5 children. She worked. She owned a small business. She worked very hard to support her family. And the trail that Rachel ran daily was a trail that we as a family would walk over the last 25 years that we've lived in Maryland. It's a very safe, small trail, very public, very open. Moms with baby carriages go down this trail. It's very safe. I was in Kentucky. We had a grandbaby that had passed away. When I got a phone call from my son, and he said, "Mom, there's somebody here that would like to speak to you." And when I said hello, the person on the other end said, "Hello, Mrs. Morin. This is Detective so-and-so. I'm the lead detective on this case. There's no easy way to tell you this, but we found your daughter's body. And if they find the body, you know that she's dead. But they wouldn't say, 'We found Rachel, she's alive.'" And so they found my daughter's body. And when they found it, it just recently has come out that she was brutally beaten, raped, and then stuffed into a drain pipe. We're 18,000 miles, 1,800 miles from the border. And because of this open border, we've had not just my daughter, but we've actually had 2 in the same county that we're from, where illegal immigrants have come in and have caused rape and murder of our citizens. And the reason why I came here today and I accepted the invitation is because I really want our words to be heard, and I really want you to take to heart what we're saying. We're not here for a political stand, although we are. We're here because we're losing our moms, our daughters, our children to criminals. And that shouldn't happen. We should be taking care of our country, our people. And the only way I believe that's going to happen is if President Trump is reelected as president. And we close up this border and we put policies back into place that were there before. Instead of this open border thing. We're going to end up being a third world country if it continues this way. And I truly hope that you would just take my words to heart, because it's devastating to lose a child, but even more devastating when you see the pictures or you see the body and you really understand what's happened to that person. So please take to heart, this is a very, very important issue. And it's one that's either going to make or break our country. It's not so much, it's about America. It's about Americans. It's about us taking and protecting ourselves and looking out for each other. It's about protecting our families. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh man, wow. Somebody was cutting some onions again. Just inopportune time to be cutting some onions while I'm watching a video like that. But all jokes aside, right? Man, that pulls your heartstrings, doesn't it? Especially for people, those of us that have kids and everything. I couldn't imagine, getting a phone call. We found a body. Man.
The night I was walking to dinner in Pacific Heights, it was a nice neighborhood. You wouldn't expect broad daylight for something violent to happen to you on the way to dinner. My purse was stolen and I stepped into the street, and the car he jumped into came at me. I I jumped up on the hood to avoid getting run over, and he floored it and hit the brakes. The police were great. They had caught him and his accomplice in a really short time, because I remember being on a gurney in the hallway of the hospital and I had to ID them. They were laughing as they fractured my skull. What was really the worst part about it all, though, is when I found out that taxpayer money was paying for job training for this guy who avoided going to prison for the first felony he committed for jobs he couldn't legally hold. It was kind of a wake-up moment for me, and I moved out of San Francisco because I didn't feel safe there. And I don't think our country is going to be safe under Kamala Harris.
It won't be safe. It won't be safe. And, you know, my thing is, because I've had conversations with Democrats about this stuff, and there's been Democrats that have said that it's not happening, that the border is actually closed, it's actually secure. So if you know any of those individuals, share this video with them. Tell them to sit down and watch it. And you tell me if it's actually really closed. I mean, there's thousands upon thousands of video clips of people flooding across the border. I've covered it a little bit, right? The cartel controlling part of U.S. soil. I'm sure some of you remember that video clip. Border Patrol admitting, yeah, we don't control this area. The cartel does. It's crazy, man. Crazy. But yet we're supposed to believe that Kamala is going to do this fantastic job with the border. But she's currently in office and could close it now. She could direct Joe Biden to actually sign an executive order that really did something. Not an executive order that was just for show, because I'm sure you guys remember that. He signed an executive order probably early this year, I believe that was, that didn't do anything. It was just show, just so he could say that he did something, because he saw the poll numbers. It's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke, and people are losing their lives over this. Oh, man. Condolences go out to all the families that have lost some loved ones. You know, like I said, I couldn't imagine the anger, you know. It's crazy. But like I said, man, we got to get Trump back in so we can end this stuff. Like I've stated before, have the tough conversations, get in contact with Scott Pressler, get in contact with TPUSA, Charlie Kirk's organization. They're doing some fantastic work as well. We got to get this W. We got to get this W. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.